Hello, welcome. So, sorry about the noise. It's a bit frosty this morning here in the UK. So, why are we going live? Hello, welcome world. I know there's no one watching at the moment, but there you go. That's the way things are. -4. It says in the car. It doesn't actually feel that cold outside, so I'm not sure it is actually -4, but there you go. All the good stuff. Whatnot. So, gonna be a few minutes of me sat in the car waiting to go because of the frost. But there you are. So, hope everyone out there is well in the world. So, a few things to talk about today. A bit of tennis going on. British not doing too well. Not sure that's really the main thing that people are talking about. We have Mr. Djokovic, who is, maybe England could have employed him to bat for them because he seemed to stay in Australia better than the English cricket team, but there you go. But one of the main things is, what the hell does Boris Johnson think he's doing? He's trying to go, Boris. It is absolutely trying to go. There you go, there is my view at the moment. That's why we're not actually moving. There we are, we've got back. But what the hell? How does he think he can just stay as Prime Minister when he's clearly lied to Parliament, or he's disguised his lie in such a way that perhaps they won't be able to say he's lied? But, you know I'm only one voter, but I won't vote for Boris Johnson. Again, all the time he is Prime Minister of the Tory party, I will not vote for them. And that's a shame, because that is the party I generally do vote for, but I'm not willing to vote for an absolute liar. I do actually think that Prime Minister questions on Wednesday were particularly funny, especially where the part where Sir Keir Starmer said the Chief Whip probably told him to bring alcohol for the party, which was good. You can see why the Conservative MP went to the Labour Party, because they're not a bunch of lying bastards like the Tories tend to be and seem to be, especially with this punk they've currently got as Prime Minister. Like, who does he think he is, and who do they think they are? And okay, the staff aren't necessarily all Tories, they are people who work there. But let's go back to March 2020 and April 2020 and May 2020, when we had in the UK, can't speak for the rest of the world, but I know the rest of the world was locked up to some sort of degree. We had severe lockdowns. We were allowed out for half an hour. Very few places were going to work. Lots of people working from home. It was only really shops that sold essential items like food, that were open, pharmacies and doctors and nurses, because they had to go there. No one else was allowed to go to work. I work in a pub. We reopened until July the 4th. So yeah, severe lockdowns, massive. You can't go anywhere, you can't do anything. I remember at one stage, me and two of the boys, we didn't leave the house for 5 weeks. Fortunately, it was nice weather, so we were able to enjoy the garden to the best of degrees, although one of them decided to stay in bed most of the time and wake up during the middle of the night, which wasn't really the plan. It was difficult having a routine, but that's enough said about that. The Tories then decided, I'll tell you what, we'll have a works to do, and we'll bring food and bring your own bottle. Sounds very much like a party to everyone else, Boris, and I'm not sure how you can honestly think that we're not going to give a shit about it, because I for one do, and I for one will not vote for you again, because I think it's disgusting that you think you can get away with what you think you can get away with. I'm not really lied to by my opinion, my so-called Prime Minister. Not fit to work the shirt, not fit to be in office. It's a have to apologise to the Queen is one thing, as you should. It was the eve of the Queen's possibly worst day of her life, the day she had to bury her husband, and you sick people think it's okay because we just had a work to do, which was very much similar to a party, and the Queen was actually asked if she wanted to break the cobras. She's like, no, I'm gonna, you see how cold it is by this steam, I'm gonna show them how we're taking it seriously and we're not gonna have the risk of COVID. Let's be fair, the Queen is 95, 96. The last thing she needs is to catch a illness where at this time, at that time there was boosters that you had COVID vaccine, but at that time, for a 90-year-old, even now, COVID is potentially deadly, and we don't want to kill off the Queen as well as Prince Philip. So, for me, Boris, you're the leader, you're the person in charge. I put it to you this as well. Okay, you have, I know, 10 Downing Street isn't your standard house. Okay, I totally get that, and it's a works office, all that good stuff. But it's your house, it's where you live. Now I put it to you, if I was to come to your house and have a party, not tell you I'm going to have a party, just have a party. Just have a standard house where you have a garden. Everyone will have that, but a lot of people will. And I have a garden in your bedroom or a different room in the house, but I don't tell you about having a party. I reckon you'll soon figure out that, hey, seems like there might be a party going on in my house. How can he lie and say, I didn't know this was possible? What utter bullshit. You are an absolute terrible liar, Boris. And I accept a degree of storytelling, but that's too much. That is absolute BS. And as a voter, I'm just not going to take it, because why should we have to suffer and have to put up with your terrible lies? Like, who believes it? Who honestly really will go, oh yeah, no, I believe it. And he's coming up with, well, we've done this, that, and if the Labour Party and still be in lockdown, then it wouldn't one day. It wouldn't still be in lockdown. Okay, there were certain things that might have helped. Us leaving the EU might make it a little bit easier to get this done, rollout done, but can't 100% guarantee that and stuff. But he's just full of crap, right? He's a good leader, but there are plenty of other people there who could take over. For me, I like Donald Trump. I'd like him to be the Prime Minister over Boris all day long, and I'm voting for him. Rishi Sunak, he seems like a pretty smart person. Certainly wouldn't have Sajid Javid as health minister because he's a communist. And I think we need someone with a much more science-based background in that position, because he, like Rishi Sunak, are looking more at finances than the science. And for me, in that position, you need a more science man. I don't know whether Jeremy Hunt was scientific at all. Doesn't matter, he's not the person in that position now, but for me, there are certain positions you need certain types of people, and there's nothing against him. I just don't think he is the right person for the job. It's almost clearing. We will soon be able to actually move on, which will be nice, because it's now been out here for the best part of, I'm talking to you people for 10 minutes, not that there's anyone there, but I think it's could almost be time to go. We're going to give it one more minute just to de-boost just a little bit so I can see a little better. But yeah, it's nearly cleared, so it's now saying -3. That's what it's not that cold outside, to be fair. It's cold enough that you'd want a jumper on, but it's not cold enough that you're thinking, well, this is cold. What on earth is going on? So we're going to change this now because that's my view on the bloody Tory party. Not a fan at the moment. Would like to congratulate Liverpool for making it to the League Cup final. I just saw the highlights, I didn't listen to it, see it, I saw it this morning. A couple of good goals. And Arsenal, yeah, they should have done better. Partey definitely something off. For once, VAR and not putting the flag up too quick was proved right. It was definitely onside. The second goal, I'm going to say it was Johnson scored both, I think it was. So yeah, good on him. Good goals as well, especially the first one and all that. So yeah, hopefully you're not going to fall out on there because that would be annoying. Would be the first time. But yeah, I thought Liverpool were definitely the better of the two teams. Why have I got them cold? Maybe if we put on higher, it might clear it a bit better and a little bit warmer as well. But yeah, definitely played better. So we're not going to get on to a little bit of astrophysics and astronomy, which is a great time of day to do it. You're doing it in the middle of the day. Who doesn't do astronomy during the day? But there you go, all that malarkey. So over the last month or so, listened to a lot of astronomers and getting a lot of all that stuff. Neil deGrasse Tyson and Brian Cox, both legends, and of course in the UK we've got Flat Earth debunker Simon Dan. Big up to you, Simon. Enjoying some of your stuff. Yeah, those flat earthers are something else, aren't they? I just don't get it. Why would you try and debunk the globe when it's clearly is a globe? Everything points to what scientists say as to be absolutely right. So why would you try? Oh no, it can't be right. How can it possibly be a globe? Why does the water not fly off? It's called gravity. Yeah, but gravity isn't a thing. How is gravity not a thing? What do you mean it's not a thing? What are you talking about, you moron? You know, it's just mind-numbingly stupid. What? Where did they come up with this? Because I'm telling you now, 100%, none of these morons that are flat earthers ever said, oh yeah, when they were at school, and the planets are explained to you. I don't remember that too much, but I do remember we had a machine which took these planets around to show you what the planets were. I like that. I've always had an interest into astronomy from a child, but recently it's got more. The thing that I would say makes it basically unbelievable for some people is the fact of the mathematics behind it. The numbers, they are mind-boggling. So a million stars, or what was it? Professor Brian Cox said it was a million stars in the observable universe, which is million trillion or something like that. The numbers that they estimate are there are, imagine, I think it was 24 zeros behind as to how many stars are. So that's incomprehensible because there's not a number that you would necessarily count it. Then the distance between stars is so unreal. Also, in front of me, I can see the moon. It's daytime. You can see it's daytime by the way I'm lit in on my phone. Also, they say, oh, science is rubbish, and we try and debunk science and all that. The way turn that down, it's a bit noisy. I'll have up a little bit. The way they debunk and what they're debunking on is what amuses me. So we have YouTube, and we're zooming here on YouTube and using it as the way of getting this video out to no one, but if anyone ever wants to go back and watch it, they can. But on this video, what we are able to do is I'm able to broadcast across the world because I've got the amount of subscribers I need to be able to do that. Yeah, that's definitely the moon up there. You can definitely see the moon. We'll come on to that shortly. But they tried to say, oh yeah, science, it's all, you know, it's all run by government, and that government may fund it, they don't run it. Okay, there is no way the government are running the scientists. The scientists are there to do a job, which they do, and there is no government which says what they can and what they can't do. That's just not a thing. It's not done because governments aren't there to give deadlines to scientists. So for example, if we take coronavirus, which is obviously something which has been in the news all over the world recently, the whole purpose of the scientists was to go out and try and find a cure or a vaccine, which they did. They haven't cured it, they've got a vaccine to help prevent people getting too sick. And then once it was proved, so what scientists do is they come up with a guess. This is how science works. You come up with a guess to a theory. So you come up with a theory, you come up with a guess which you create a theory with. Now if nature proves that that guess was wrong, it doesn't work and you throw it away. And it doesn't matter who comes up with that. It could be the greatest scientist. It's Einstein. If Einstein wants to come up with it and nature proved it didn't work, it's wrong. It doesn't matter that you're the most widely known scientist of all time. I would put Einstein in there. It doesn't matter. The fact is, if what you've proved doesn't work, it's wrong. If it doesn't work with nature, then it doesn't matter. It's proven fact, it does not work, and start again. Come up with a new theory which you believe in, come up with a guess of what should happen, and if that happens, if it's observed to happen, then it works with nature. It works. Do it again, see if it comes up with the same results. Then you have a basis to a theory, and then you can go with that. So what they've done is, many years ago, they came up with a vaccine. So the vaccine basis is proven to work. It worked on smallpox. Smallpox has now basically been eradicated, as has polio. So these diseases and these illnesses do not bother so much the world anymore because they have been taken away, which is a good thing. We don't want these illnesses, and because of science and very clever people, and that they've been able to eradicate it. So now we've got several different COVID vaccines from several different things. What we have to remember is, although they got it out there fast, the basis of the vaccine is the same one we have for flu vaccine or polio or smallpox or whatever. The base of it was already created. What they did is they went out and got the bits that they needed for coronavirus and then manufactured it. Remember, one of them, when it's frozen, has to be at, what was it, minus 80 degrees. So this isn't a standard freezer. Then it has to be defrosted and used within 24 hours. So this is a type of vaccine which isn't easy to ship around the world. So basically places like Africa, where they will not have refrigeration, parts of Asia, it's going to be very difficult to get out. The problem with a pandemic like coronavirus is we're not all safe here in the UK, wherever you are in the world, until everyone else in the world is safe. You know, it's all right us having our boosters, and then we might need another booster soon. That's fine. That's fine for us. but we need to sort the rest of the world out as well. And I know our governments, you know, not criticising them like I did earlier, our governments have pledged to send them around the world a percentage for free, because it's the right thing to do. There are other things which we've done as a government or our country which I'm not supporting. Cutting foreign aid is not a good thing, and you're always going to get people, and Facebook is horrific for this. You know, the good thing with social media, the likes of YouTube, which I'm coming to you, my one person watching on, is that it allows you to commute with the world, and it gives you a platform to speak and preach. The problem is when you've got people on there preaching that the world, you know, COVID is a myth, COVID won't hurt you, absolute bullshit about illnesses and viruses, and you shouldn't take the vaccine because of this, you shouldn't take the vaccine because of that. There we go. Bit of a there because it's right in your face. And all this stuff which is absolute lies or unproven. If the facts were only allowed to be put out by healthcare professionals, scientists, people who actually know what they're talking about, it'll be fine. And we're going to come on to flat Earth shortly. Okay, so flat Earth has been proven, and we're going to come to it now actually, because why not? So there are people out there that still believe that the world is flat. I don't believe that when they were growing up they believed the world is flat. Now, when I look in front of me now, the world looks relatively flat. But what I have there's actually a hill coming up, so it's not that flat. But what I actually have is a certain degree of intelligence, which tells me that a globe which is, let's say, what is it, UK to Australia, about between 10 and 14,000 miles, tells me I'm not going to be able to see that far. Okay, I can probably see half a mile because of the curvature, and not the curvature, but there's a bend in the road, so I can't see, and there's trees up either side, which will restrict what I can actually see. So there's only so much that I can actually see to actually go. I'm going to come back in here actually, because why not? Put it back front, go ahead a little bit. So yeah, there's only so much I can actually see. So now, because I'm going uphill, I can only see because there's a dip, there's a curvature of the world. Well, it's basically me just driving my car, proving that the world potentially is a globe and curved. I'm not saying it is just yet, but I'm going to point out things now, no science, because you don't necessarily need science, although you need a certain degree of intelligence. So we're going to use the stars at night, and obviously it's a daytime, so we can't actually see that. But when you are awake and the world around you, daytime, all you can see is the sun, because the sun is so big, so bright, it removes all of the other stars and stuff. At the moment, we are just gone. The moon is still mightily big, so in the morning, and it's also winter, so into the afternoon, it is possible to see the moon during the day. Okay, where is he going? During the day, so we have you can see the moon during the day. You won't see any other stars because they're just not big enough to actually see, and all that. Let's slow down and go past. so you can't actually see any of the stars. I don't know why he had his lights on, but he's coming out to go somewhere. There you go. So you've got the stars and the planets. You're not going to be able to see them even if they're clear. Once the sky starts to go dark when the sun goes down, because of the curvature of the Earth, once that happens and it's a clear night, there's no clouds in the sky, you're going to start to see the stars. Now the brightest ones, which you'll see first, generally are planets, because they're so much brighter. They're probably going to be a planet rather than a star. In fact, there you go. Anyway, so where was I? Proving a point. Okay, so in the Northern Hemisphere, we're going to talk about the Northern Hemisphere because I don't live in the Southern Hemisphere, never been to the Southern Hemisphere, can't really prove a flat earth wrong by talking about stars. I will not see. So at the moment it is winter. We are in January, sorry. Yeah, definitely January. It's definitely cold enough to be January. It's definitely not warm enough yet here to be July, although in Australia it'll be nice and sunny, I expect. Probably not now because it's probably night time. I'm not sure what the time it is there. So it's half past 8 in the UK. So it's probably going to taking that lorry in for inspection. Absolutely changing the story there. You haven't got a clue what we're talking about, but it doesn't matter. So it'll be I don't know, either 10:30 or 6:30, something like that. It'll be late evening or night time. Doesn't matter. Anyway, so when the stars come out tonight, we will be able to see certain stars. We'll have the stars will come out in winter, so we'll be able to see things like Orion's belt, which is probably my favourite star system. There's a point in there which Hubble Space Telescope, it's up there. It's been viewing the cosmos for the last 30 odd years. It took a snapshot into what looked very dark, very much. It was black, you couldn't see anything of that. Now, they do add a certain amount of colour, and it does perhaps make it artistic there, perhaps you can see. But in that spot, they shone that telescope, and I know now I'm going away from Earth, so we're going to stop there. But there's a certain spot there anyway. They found light from the beginning of time, but that's a different story. That's more cosmology. We're not going into cosmology, we're debunking flat Earth, and I'm going off on a tangent. I do that, you probably notice if you watch this. Anyway, we're going off on a tangent. We're going to go back to what we were talking about. So the stars at night, you will have things like Orion. In the summer, in the UK where I live, we're not going to see Orion because it's going to be the other side of the sun, because we're certainly in the sun going around it. So as the stars come out at night, it's going to always change. So how does that work? How does that on a flat Earth work where the stars change? The moon. We're going to go with the moon now. So on a flat Earth model, the moon is one side of the world and the sun is the other side. Now the thing with the moon is it has crescents. You have a full moon, and then you have a half moon and all that. It changes because of the fact the moon goes around the world and the sun is what's lighting it, and when it's being shadowed by the world, the sun doesn't shine on it. That's how the moon works. That is observed through millennia, proven. Don't need to prove that one anymore because it's scientific fact. I would say that there's no way you can debunk that. The moon is a thing. It's a celestial body. It's the biggest moon to a planet, as in comparing it to the size of a planet there is in the whole solar system. So I'm going to claim that one as the flat Earth has been debunked. So there are so many different models of the flat Earth. The flat Earthers are the absolute imbeciles of the planet. But if we go with the southern hemisphere, part, which I know most flat earthers, to be fair, live in the northern hemisphere, because that's where most of the people live, and a lot of them live in places where they don't have nothing better to do. I don't imagine you got too many flat earthers in poor countries, because they got better things to do in their life than worry about whether the world is flat or not. They might believe that because they're uneducated, but the people in, let's call them the richer countries, places like the United States, the UK, most of Europe, Australia, New Zealand, it's called these the people who have got too much spare time. So they're told that, here you go, I'm going to come up with a fun fact for you, flat earthers. If you were to write a letter in a standard handwriting and put a full stop at the end, that full stop, now, if that was the sun, so the sun is so unimaginably big that you could fit 1 million Earths inside it, and still have a little bit of space, by the way. It's that big. Now, if you were to reduce it down to the size of that full stop, the nearest sun to that full stop, imagining it on your paper, would be 4 miles away. So we are talking vast. Space is absolutely mind-numbingly huge, and I certainly can't do the maths. I'm certainly not intelligent enough to do the maths, but I got a certain intellect that tells me that what a astrophysicist says, although I may not understand all of it. Why would they lie to me? Why would they lie to everyone? Why are these scientists there just to absolutely talk crap to people? They're not, are they? Let's be honest. They're not there to do that. They tell you facts, and it's up to you whether you choose to believe them or not. It's a bit like when you're voting for a government. We're going to go back to the government now. When you vote for a government, it's up to you to believe what they say, and whether you believe they can do that, and so you vote for your party and hope that the one you vote, I'm sure you're hoping get in, and once they get in, you hope that they're able to do whatever it is they've decided they're going to do, and hopefully they do it, and everyone lives happily, and everyone's happy about that. They don't always do that, but that's what they've gone out and they've attempted, you'd like to think, to do. You can't always get that wrong, right? So when Hubble was sent up, Space Telescope, they spent lots of money on that, and it didn't work to start with, because one of the incredibly precise mirrors was ever slightly out. So what they did is they've created basically what they called contact lens for it, and it worked. And now we're getting some of the most amazing pictures. Anyway, I'm at work now, so that's the end of the rant. Hope if you go back and watch this, because clearly one person was watching it, but he stopped, or she stopped. Let's not be sexist about it, Andy. If you do watch it, give us a thumbs up. Do subscribe. Who knows, I might do another one next week. And all that. Do subscribe. Do give us a thumbs up, and tell your friends about it, Could have a laugh. Anyway, this has been your man in the shed. See you, pals.